Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Just Arsenal YouTube channel. It's great to be back, me and Rob. And we have a confirmed signing to talk about, announced this morning. Matt Turner is an Arsenal player, something we've known since January pretty much. But we had the official confirmation, which was lovely. A few weeks ago, we spoke about Marquinhos, who was our first signing. Obviously, Matt Turner is now our third signing. And yeah, something to discuss, isn't it? He's arrived from New England Revolution with very good pedigree. Supposedly one of the best goalkeepers ever seen in MLS. USA's number one, will probably be playing for them at the World Cup. A gooner, as you could see in his interview. I watched his interview. He came across very well. Boyhood Arsenal fan, or started supporting us when he started playing football when he was 14. That's what he said. He knew Frimpong, the Arsenal presenter. So clearly, he follows us. He'll watch, the Arsenal content. He's one of us, which is very nice. And he's supposedly quite good. I've heard he has some limitations with the ball at his feet, which is something I thought the club would sort of be quite keen to get in their second choice goalkeeper. So, when Ramsdale goes out, we don't lose that. Nevertheless, it could be something you could develop. Maybe we just haven't seen it because New England Revolution supposedly played long, which is what Sheffield United did under Ramsdale. But anyway, Rob, thoughts on this deal?
Yeah, I think it's sort of one which, as you say, we've known that was going to happen for a very long time. I think it was sort of confirmed by his own club back when it was all sort of breaking news. And yeah, as you say, he came across really well in the interview. It's always nice to sign a gooner. And yeah, from everything I've heard about him, he's a really, really good shot stopper. We've got a lot of Americans who write for the We Love You Arsenal writing team, and they all have very good things to say about him. I think it's interesting that City also have a number two goalkeeper who's American in Zach Steffen. A lot of people have spoken about that online, and I think he will just be a really good guy to have around the dressing room. As you say, the limitations likely mean he won't play all that much. Will probably just be a very firm number two, perhaps Europa League group stage games and cup competitions, early stages of them. But otherwise, we'll see Ramsdale primarily between the sticks. But yeah, it's nice to get that sort of sorted. I remember when we sort of panic bought Alex Runnison a few years ago, and that was absolutely awful. Whereas this is one that seems to have been long time coming, someone that the club have been tracking for a very long time. And yeah, I think it's also nice that we're not just looking at the conventional markets to sign our players. It's good that we're looking around the world, and hopefully he'll be able to transfer the positive skills that he's shown in the MLS to the Premier League.
Yeah, and I think I like that point, and the fact we're looking at slightly obscure markets, not just in Europe, to sign these squad players who clearly have potential. And I think he could be a really good goalkeeper. I think the best case out, or what you want from your backup goalkeeper is just, ideally you hardly want him to play, as you sort of said there. You want him to come in if Ramsdale happens to be injured, but ideally you want Ramsdale to never be injured, and to never get dropped because he's always in good form. That's what you want. And you just want your backup goalkeeper to be there and push him and then fill in cup competitions, which he'll probably be adequate for. So that's what you really want. One thing I am going to bring up is, and it reminded me because of Alex Runnison signing. We signed Alex Runnison as he was recommended by Inaki Cannon, the goalkeeping coach. And apparently Matt Turner is the same. I think Ramsdale had more involvement from Edu and Arteta, but yeah. So, and we saw how bad Runnison was, and we could have all predicted that because he was Dijon's number two. So, I mean, if he's Dijon's number two, he's not exactly going to be great for us as a number two. And he was also the worst rated had the worst data profile in Liga when we signed him out of any goalkeeper. And that was Inaki Cannon's decision, supposedly. I'm not saying Matt Turner is good. That's, it's a very overly negative outlook. I'm not saying he's going to be Runnison. He's clearly a much better goalkeeper than that. But do you have a few concerns about, because of Cannon's? Is it Canner or Canner? I can't remember.
Yeah, I think it might be a Naki Canner. Yeah,
Canner, because of some of his because of his track record with Runnison. Are there any concerns there about this?
I think inevitably, I suppose the difference with this one is that this is a goalkeeper who I'm not sure he's worked with Canner before, whereas Runnison had that prior working relationship with Canner from, I think, his time in Denmark. Not 100% sure though. So yeah, I suppose that's the difference. I think this is probably one where Canner's been sort of told, go and do some scouting, mate. Find us a goalkeeper who you think would be an adequate understudy for Aaron Ramsdale, rather than sort of being like, oh, do you know anyone who could fill in this season just as emergency backup? This feels different. As I said, there's a lot of long-term planning that has seemingly gone into this one. And he does come in with a decent track record. He's played a few games for the States over the international period where he's performed very, very well, apparently, which is always nice to hear. America do have a few decent goalkeepers. It's through the years, it's been one of the only positions really where the United States have sort of produced very good players. You think of the Brad Friedels of this world, Tim Howard, but
Brad Guzan.
Yeah, I did want to bring up Brad Guzan, but yeah. So yeah, it's something which the United States are decent at producing, which is another positive thing. And as I say, it's not the sort of panic. Oh, we just need to find someone who can fill in the season. It's more of a long term thing, which is really good.
I agree. Do you harbour any concerns about as I said there, with his playing out from the back, his ball playing ability? I think, I know he's really good shot stopper. I think if he'd been like a decent shot stopper, but not like really good like he is, but we knew he definitely was great on the ball, then I sort of would have favoured that profile. I'm not saying he can't be good with the ball, but that's what I've heard. Do you have any concerns about that? Because I think we saw at times when Leno came in last season, although he was equally as good, maybe even better shot stopper than Ramsdale, the limitations with playing out the ball out of the back with him. Do you have any concerns about that?
Yeah, it was a massive thing for me towards the end of the season before last. Leno was just pissing me off so much between the sticks, just because he was so incapable with the ball at his feet. And
the data said that Leno completed more passes, but that's because he rolled a pass out 3 yards to his centre back, and then that was it. And he couldn't do any of the line breaking passes into midfield or the clips up the line and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. He was just really, really poor in terms of helping us build out from the back. I'm hoping that they see something in Turner where they think, oh, maybe he can be developed, because we've, as you said at the top of the video, Ramsdale came from a team who went long a lot. No one knew that he was particularly good with his feet, but sometimes these goalkeepers who are asked to go long and pick out these pinpoint passes really long up the pitch, sometimes these are the guys who are actually deceptively much better with their feet. That's what we want. We don't want the guy who's just comfortable rolling it in between his teammates. We want that guy who can pinpoint that man in midfield or a striker and hope that they can bring it down through some good distribution. Maybe that is something which they see in Turner. They see something in his long distance distribution and think, okay, that's something that he's already pretty good at. Now we just need to hopefully make him a bit better technically on the ball. I think also, though, that is something that's really hard to develop. Coaches always say it's much easier to turn an outfield player into a goalkeeper than a goalkeeper into an outfield player. So unless it's something which sort of comes naturally to you, sort of having the ball at your feet, it's really hard to develop that. So my guess would be that we won't be seeing much of Matt Turner in an Arsenal shirt. He'll very firmly be that number 2. And I suppose if he does have to play Premier League games, our style of play will just have to be tinkered with a little bit.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. And yeah, we'll call it a day there because I know you have to get off. Thanks for watching the Just Arsenal video. Go check out the We Love You Arsenal YouTube channel where we had a nice discussion on the Jesus signing. That video will be up soon. And yeah, hopefully Jesus comes, but for the time being, well, we know he's coming. For the time being, welcome to Arsenal, Matt Turner. Yeah, see you later.
Goodbye.